All right, welcome back. I hope you're having an awesome time so far. Our next speaker is Fabian Campbell-West. He is CTO at Liopa. Please join me in welcoming Fabian to our virtual stage.
How would you communicate without using your voice? This is a question that many of us haven't necessarily had to answer or think much about, but it's something that I would encourage you to think about as I go through the presentation today. My name is Dr. Fabian Campbell-West. I am co-founder and CTO of Liopa. We are world leaders in automated lip reading technology. I'm going to talk today about voiceless speech recognition, empowering the voiceless to be heard. We communicate talking to people every day. And in these times, particularly with a global pandemic, we appreciate being able to communicate with people. We understand the importance of talking and also being able to see people when we talk. It's quite natural for us when we are communicating with people to use verbal and non-verbal communication. So even though 80% or more of communication is non-verbal, it's still really important to have the sound component. So hearing people and what they're saying is critical, and everything else is just a bonus and it all adds on top. So speaking is something that's natural and intuitive to all of us, but for some people, it's sometimes impossible. For example, there's over 10,000 tracheostomies a year in the UK alone, and thousands more due to COVID-19. There are millions of people worldwide who have medically impaired speech, for example, a stroke. A tracheostomy is when the vocal cords are bypassed and a tube is inserted in your throat, so air doesn't pass through the mouth and nose. What that means is you can usually move your lips normally, but you can't actually make any sound. This can be really stressful for patients. It's been shown that it's really important for a patient's improved clinical outcomes that they can communicate with their doctors and parents and carers. It reduces stress and anxiety. It's also really important for the medical staff to be able to communicate effectively with the patient to help get them to be better. So we at Liopa, in collaboration with the Lancashire Teaching Hospitals Trust in the UK, have developed Stravi. This is the speech recognition app for the voice impaired. It's a mobile phone application that will run on any smartphone, and it'll allow you to record a video of someone speaking and convert that to text. It's primarily designed to run in intensive care units as a communications aid. So you can think of it as an assistive and augmentative communication app. And essentially we convert lip reading to speech. As I mentioned earlier, it's quite natural for us to do lip reading when we're talking to people. So usually in conversation, you'd have an acoustic signal and a visual signal. So you'd be listening to someone speaking and you'd be looking at them as well. And we often find it difficult if we can't see a person's lips. However, if you don't have the acoustic component, if you could only rely on lip reading, it's very, very challenging. Even the best lip readers are only about 50% accurate at best. So what we have done at Liopa is train an AI system for recognizing lip movements and converting that to speech. I want to give you an idea of how well that works and what the difficulties involved are. So first of all, we start off with a video of someone speaking. We then identify and track points around the face, landmarks around the face, and we can identify the lip region, and we can align it, scale it, and extract it. So given that video of someone speaking, we are able to track key points along the face, and we are able to then extract features. Another challenge we have is one of illumination. So you can tell even just in the video of me now, I've got artificial light because I'm based in the UK, so it's nighttime here, but it's artificial light and there's shadows on my face. And in this example on the screen, I'm standing in front of a window, so the light is coming straight in front of me and it is illuminating my entire face and it's quite even. If I turn to the side, then the illumination source is coming from one side. You can see in the right-hand side of the image, my face is very light. It's almost saturated in points. And on the left-hand side, my face is in shadow and you can't really see a lot of the detail as clearly. If I turn around 90 degrees again, so the light is behind me, you can see now that my face is evenly lit, but it's a lot less bright than it was with me turned the other way. So if I show you those images side by side, you can see the changes in illumination. So this is something that as humans, we adapt to very well. We can recognize those images are all of the same person, and we can probably even make an assumption if they were captured at the same time. But for a computer, this is very challenging. And it's one of the many innovative things that we have developed in Liopa, is the technology to cope with these different variations. So in terms of how our technology works, I just wanted to walk through an example. So here, one of the Liopa team is going to say a phrase, and you'll see that video on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side is a list of 4 options. And essentially what we want to do is use the AI system that we've developed, which is based on a deep neural network, to identify which of the phrases is most likely. So the first thing we do is we look at the video, we then recognize and track the lip movements, and we extract those, and we compare them to our trained models, and we determine that the most likely phrase in this case is "I want to drink." So our app is really quite simple. We have 3 stages. The first stage is someone aligns the face of the patient in the screen. They then record a short video. That video is then sent to our cloud. The data is encrypted in transit and at rest. We're very careful with privacy and data security. We analyze that data on the cloud and we return the result. In this case, on the left, you can see the 3 options. And if the user taps one of those buttons, then that phrase will be played audibly. So in that case, without making any sound at all and without having to do anything other than move your lips, you're able to convert your lip movements to speech. So here is a video in 2 parts. The first part is me demonstrating the app, and then there's an example of it being used in an ICU setting. So here I am mouthing a phrase. The app is recording it, sending it to the server. It processes it all within a few seconds, returns the result. What time is it? And then that can be played audibly. Here, one of our participants, Nathan, is testing the app in the Lancashire ICU. You can see the same concept. He's mouthing a phrase and it says the result on the screen. So the benefits of Sravi are that it's natural and relatively easy to use compared to methods that I'll mention in a second. It's very portable. Anywhere you've got a smartphone, you can use it. It'll run on any smartphone, and it's customizable, so patients can add their own phrases. The alternatives to Sravi can be expensive, complex, and tiring. Typically, the most elaborate systems involve eye tracking. These are expensive to set up, and also they have to be tuned for every user. Other examples of AAC apps are usually grid-based, where the user has to type icons on the screen that allows them to play sounds. But these can be quite tiring to use, and if a patient's in an ICU, they might not be very lucid. This could be quite confusing. Another option is to work with a medical practitioner who can work their way through physical boards. So in these examples, you would hold the board up in front of the patient, and then you would trace your finger first vertically and then horizontally, and they would gesture to try and get you to understand what it is they need. You've also got a classic pain scale where you can also see the part of the body that's in pain. So in terms of progress to date, we've successfully deployed Sravi in a trial setting in Lancashire. We've tested it with over 20 patients and over 800 sessions. On our website, sravi.ai, there's more information, including a case study with Nathan. So to summarize, Sravi is much more easy to use. It's accurate and it's low cost. It helps patients communicate with their doctors. It helps the doctors understand the patient, which improves the patient's well-being. In terms of the future, we would like to see this deployed more widely. We are looking to commercialize this technology from now. So if you're interested in finding out more information about it, or you know someone that might be, then please do get in touch with us through our website or through the contact information I'll put at the end. In terms of the parting words, I'd just leave it to one of our collaborators, Dr. Shondapon Laha, who is a clinician at the Lancashire Teaching Hospitals Trust. And he said that he sees Sravi as fundamental to the recovery and well-being of critically ill patients. So thank you very much for listening. And if you have any questions, please do contact me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. This has been an incredible presentation, and I know the audience is giving you a huge virtual round of applause. We really appreciate you sharing with us.
Yeah, thank you.
For the audience, it's time for you to make your way to your next session. Along the way, make sure you accept those connection requests and check out our amazing AI exhibits. Thanks so much, and we'll see you around.